Time now for our deep dive. President Trump and this economy. President Trump has signed a sweeping executive order rolling back some of the tariffs he first announced back in April. The White House says coffee, tea, tropical fruits, fruit juices, cocoa, spices, bananas, oranges, tomatoes, beef, and fertilizers will be exempt from those reciprocal tariffs. The move is likely to lower prices for Americans who have seen prices go up at grocery stores. The Consumer Price Index report in September found prices going up for coffee, beef, and bananas over the past year. For more on this and how the economy is looking under the Trump administration, we're joined now by Justin Wolfers. He teaches economics and public policy at Michigan. So, Justin, thanks for joining us. First off here, what are the short-term and long-term impacts of rolling back these specific tariffs?
The short-term impact is it's likely that these ongoing price rises in these particular categories will grind to a halt. And if we're really lucky, prices will go back down a little bit again. The bigger implication here is the president has been telling us now for several years that Americans don't pay these tariffs and therefore tariffs don't raise prices. Now he wants lower prices. All of a sudden, he's willing to admit the reality that I think your viewers understand very well, which is tariffs have caused higher prices and he's winding back some of them.
So there are still tariffs in place on a number of things. How is that affecting the economy, those tariffs?
Sorry, mate. Look, so far we've seen rising inflation. Well, not really rising, sorry, persistently high inflation. And that's one of the things that's kept interest rates high. The other thing that happens when you've got across-the-board tariffs is it reorganizes supply chains. It's something that we sometimes call a supply shock. We've seen the early stages of what economists call stagflation. The inflation part is inflation, and you've all felt that at the grocery store. The stag part is stagnation, which is we've got rising unemployment and slower economic growth than we otherwise would have.
So let's talk about the job market. When you look at the job market, do you think wages will start to catch up with the rising prices that we've been talking about here at the grocery store?
That's a really important question, Perry. So let's do a little bit of economics together. Welcome to my classroom. Normally what happens, and what happened in the post-pandemic inflation, is that prices rise, and then because your boss is charging more for whatever it is you make, it's like you're worth more to your boss. So eventually that leads your boss to offer you a higher wage to keep you, and so wages keep up with prices. So there's a temporary amount of pain normally with tariffs, but it's only temporary. With inflation. With tariff-driven inflation, it's different. What happens with tariff-driven inflation is the tariffs raise costs for your boss. There's no more money. So therefore, your boss has higher costs. He or she's going to raise prices, but there's no reason to think that your boss is going to be able or willing to grant you a pay rise. So the extra pain that comes from a tariff-driven inflation is prices rise, but wages never catch up.
Justin Wolfers, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure.